Yes, you're tuned into the Catchupdbn with your host, MX South Africa, who's behind the camera this time around, and your co-host, Pookie Dubs. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again. And if this is your first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So today we have an absolutely amazing local talent who's taken his music beyond the borders. Absolutely amazing. I heard some of your tracks, so we're going to be diving into who exactly we're going to be talking to. But for now, welcome, Phonics, the Cool.
Yes. I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So for those who don't know you, please just tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into it.
Okay. Phonics the Cool. Government Lunga Kumalo. Songwriter, producer. And artist born and raised in the city of Durban.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So before we really go into the interview, I was first introduced to you. I was scrolling down Facebook. This is just a little secret. Yes. I was scrolling down Facebook and I saw someone who looked like a male artist that I really was into at the time. I really had a crush on. So then I followed you. I know. Awkward. So I followed your page, and then that's when I was introduced to your music. The artist was Frank Ocean. You have like some.
Frank Ocean.
I know. You have some similarities, Jelapo.
I don't know about that.
So have you ever found the way you look and appear to be something that you can use to attract people to your music?
Yeah, I think it's always been a factor. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to gas myself up, but growing up, yeah. I got it a lot, like in high school and primary and all of that stuff, where even teachers told me that, you're good looking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But me being into music, I knew it was a factor that could play a role, but I've always just been into music so much that I wanted to sound great as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's been a big focus for me as well, to just sound amazing and for the music to sound good.
Okay. So before we really go into your music, you started off as a dancer.
Yeah.
So what genre?
How did you know?
So what type of style, of dancing did you do at the time?
Hip hop, crump, all of that. Yeah.
You're a crumper.
Yeah.
How does it feel being a crumper now in this day and age?
Oh no.
Don't you feel embarrassed?
Nah.
People are embarrassed about ever being crumpy.
Nah. I love it. Why? Because I get to incorporate dance in my performances and stuff like that. And it just elevates my game.
Yeah.
From like an ordinary rapper. Yeah. It's not as popular now. But I think it's part of my story. It's part of me, so I take it. And yeah, I love dancing. I still do it today, but not crump, but just like hip hop stuff. I'd go to like the dance studio with friends and we just like dance. Okay. I use that as like my workout. Yeah. So when I work out, I hate like weights and all of that kind of stuff. So it's either I play soccer or I just go dance. And that's just how I burn. Yeah.
So how has it played a role in the type of music that you make?
Dance. Yeah. I don't think it's played a role. I think with the type of music I make, I think my father has a big influence on that. Because growing up, it's like my dad and uncles were big on music, still big. So from a young age, I grew up like where I'Alami in the household is my dad in the morning blasting music. Yeah. And the type of music he listens to as well. He listened to a lot of like funk music, Roger Troutman. He listened to a lot of like, and then when he listened to hip hop, he listened to a lot of Westcoast, because Westcoast has funk in it, right? The sound G-funk originates from the sound funk, and then they incorporated it and mix it with hip hop. So he just loved funky music, and I grew up listening to it, being exposed to it. So like, can you imagine my drives to school? Yeah. My dad is blasting all these music. So growing up, it's like, that's what I was exposed to. So when I got the chance to make music, that was my go-to because it's all I knew.
Yeah. So in several interviews, you did mention your style of rap. your flow, being influenced greatly by West Coast and old school. So to the average South African, what is West Coast? What is a West Coast?
Yeah, so I'd say a West Coast is like, it's a genre that originated in LA that was influenced by the likes of Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, who else? Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's a sound from LA that consists of of a funk and hip hop, and then they called the genre G funk. Yeah, but it's called West Coast music because it's from the west side of America. The East Coast is New York side, and the West Coast is LA. So they call it West Coast music because it's a style that originated in LA.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then you also mentioned your father and your uncle having a big influence in the type of music that you listen to and you're influenced by. Now that you've been exposed to several genres, I'm sure, have you possibly changed your palette and the type of music that you like, you know?
I've always been an R&B guy, so I listen to R&B. So on my phone, it's like I don't listen to hip hop at all. That's a funny thing. I don't. I don't listen to hip hop at all, and a part of me wishes I could sing. I feel like I'd be, killing it even more. But, I wasn't gifted with a singing voice. But I grew up to a lot of R&B, funk, and more, the soulful type music. So it's like, that's what I grew up listening to. That's what I still listen to today. Like when I play music, it's either I'm playing like stuff from the 90s or I'm playing, stuff like that. So yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, I actually heard some of your R&B influence in your photoshopped mixtape. I heard you trying and experimenting.
Yeah. That mixtape was like, that mixtape I was just like, you know what? Because when I started off, I started off in a group, right?
Yeah.
Called the Maniacs. So we started off and we were doing our thing till 2017. Yeah. So during that course, over the years, like, everyone would approach me in like Durban and tell me like, why don't you do stuff alone? Like you should do stuff alone. And when you're like young, you're just like, it's us or nothing. I never ever wanted to do music alone. I never ever wanted to feature on someone's song alone. I just had this dream in my head fixed on the Maniacs crew. Yeah. Me and my boys. So it's like in 2017 when we split and then everyone, gave up on the music and started focusing elsewhere, that's when I got the opportunity to do solo stuff. That's when I dropped Photoshop, which was in 2018. So I was like, I'm going to work on this tape. First tape as a solo artist I'm going to do, but I want to explore on it. I just want to try different things. So I don't care if people say I don't know how to sing, I'm going to do it. I was just like mixing a lot of style songs on there. And I was like, let me see what people gravitate towards. Yeah. And then obviously the West Coast stuff picked up because it's rare in the continent. So they're like, hey, this sound. And I was like, okay, proper. Now that's what I'm going to focus on, So yeah, that was Photoshopped. A lot of exploring on that mixtape.
I actually saw that transition from you, from your group, you guys making music together in your SoundCloud uploads, and then you went on starting to do music together, even though you were still under the Maniacs. You started doing music together. What was that conversation like with your group members
about
splitting up? Did they understand that maybe you were stronger? Because I guess that a lot of people saw more strength in you as an artist than they did with your group members. So
I think
how did that conversation
one of my
go?
boys, I think one of my boys picked it up because there was 5 of us. So our split was more like we've been trying for years, and we don't think it's gonna work. Time's ticking. I need to find a job. Pressure from home. That sort of thing. Music's just not gonna work out. And then that's how the split happened. But then one of the guys in the crew was like, I don't think you should take that route. I think you should continue and do your thing. I'll be your DJ. Let's push. And then that's where we went. But I don't think the other guys have ever told me or said, you're gonna Because even in the Maniacs, I don't think I was the main guy there. Yeah.
Yeah, but your voice really did stick out. It did, your tone, your voice. And so I understood why people were saying that, you know what, just, try and go solo with that.
Yeah. And another story I've always wanted to tell MX is Niche Fam is the reason, is part of the reason why we started rapping. But I've always wanted to tell him, I'm going to tell him the day I see him. So it's like Niche Fam, Squad 6, Rand Hustle. Yeah. Those were the guys we watched growing up in high school when we were trying to put it together, transitioning from dance to the music. We were like, bro, we need to do this. So we in high school in grade 8 putting a crew together. These guys were the blueprint. We'd watch them, you know what I'm saying? And then luckily enough, the apartment we used to stay in, Kanda from SMB used to stay there, Babs. So we approached him because it was all part of the mix and the culture back in the days. So we spoke to him, we're like, bro, can you guys manage us? We trying to get this music thing going. Yeah. And then they took us and they showed us around Durban. Like before I went to any club, before I went to any event, they were the first guys who actually took the Maniacs and put us in all. And that's where we got to witness these guys do their thing. And we're like, damn. We're like, that's what we're trying to be like. But they're like played a pivotal role in why we like started rapping and wanted our group to be successso. We watched them.
Yeah. That's wild, dog. If you niggas still watching, get jobs.
Nah, for real, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild, bro. That's
for real. Because I remember it's like, when you like in the industry when you're always hustling and knocking on doors and no one really hears you, it's tough as an artist. And I remember like we did a show at, I think it was 47, at 47. There was guys called Lucochet Studios or something like that. Mm-hmm. They did an event where Ricky was there and Ricky asked for us to open on there because we had met him through SMB. And then he wanted us to open. And at that event, Niche Fam was there. And I remember after the event, after we performed, when we went to the bathroom to go freshen up, in CZ was one of the guys who came up to us and told us, like, you guys are dope. You need to keep pushing. And the second track you did, you need to shoot a video for it. And that gave us, like, mad motivation to, like, keep going. So they played, a pivotal role. But I've never told bro this. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's many who are also looking to you in that same way.
Yeah.
So that's great that you're inspired by a local group who was doing absolutely amazing things at the time.
Yeah.
Then you continued with that and you saw hope and definitely. So in the beginning of your career, you used to talk more about being proudly being from Durban and how proud you are being from Durban and things of that nature. And then throughout the transition of your music, you started talking about not being given a chance, not being recognized, people telling you this and that about the type of artist you are. How does that make you feel about Durban now as a place where you started off your musical journey?
Yeah. I mean, I still have that thing in my heart where I'm like, why didn't Durban give me a chance, or why didn't the guys? Because it's not a thing of like they don't know who I am. They do know who I am. I've been knocking on doors and talking to them multiple times, you know what I'm saying? But they just didn't see the value in me. But it used to hurt me a lot. But now that I'm older, I've gone to a point where I'm like, at the end of the day, no one owes you anything. You know what I'm saying? You might think you're dope, or you might think, but no one owes you that platform. You just need to find a way to make it work. Yeah. So I was at that stage of my life where I was like, in Photoshop, I was like, talking about Durban, this is what I want to do, all of that. But then I got to a point where I'm like, why am I mad at these people? They don't owe me that. Yeah. I just need to grind. If this way doesn't work, because it's the blueprint, I've seen it happen this way. Every artist that broke through from Durban used this guy. So that's all I knew. So I was like, nah, I need to find a new way to hustle. Yeah. And then that's where I used my LinkedIn strategy. I hustled backwards, which I could tell you about.
Yes.
So when I dropped Photoshopped in 2018, my whole thing was like, okay, cool. I'm not getting to these people in Durban. Yeah. I do not have a fan base. I do not have a following. But I think my music is is up to par. How can I get it to the people? So I was just like, so growing up, like being around my older brothers and stuff like that, they'd always tell me about platforms like LinkedIn. They use that to network with like business people because when they do their thing. So I'd watch them work and stuff. I was like, how about I find music people, yeah? I do that on a daily and find people in these positions, in labels and all of these, and I network with them and I just keep sending them music on a monthly basis and ask for their opinion on my developments every single time I send them a track, instead of me trying to convince the masses. And then when I get into the label, it'll be their job to convince the masses about me. But I just need to make sure that my music is at the best quality, and then I just network with these guys. So I was just doing that every night. During the day, I'd record like 5 songs, and then I'd go on LinkedIn in the AMs talking to people in the US because of the different time zones. So I'd just stay up. Actually, I still do it till today. And then I just talk to people. So it's like, say I target someone like The Game. Instead of reaching out to The Game, because I know 1,000 artists are in his DMs and he's not going to respond, I just look at who he follows. So if he's following 100 people, he definitely knows these 100 people. So I'd follow all of those 100 people. And then I'd network with them and pitch my music to them. If I'm good enough, they'll tell him about me. I don't need to say tell Game about me. They'll do it if my music's good enough. And I'll just build that relationship. And I'll just keep doing that, targeting artists and Googling who's the A&R there and who's the what. And then that's how like my stuff landed on Game at, that's how Game found out about Photoshop. I think it's the people around him. Yeah. Because I was cool with I'm cool with like 3 people that know him. But also it's like he was also doing like a tape where he was like helping upcoming artists, and then my brother had commented my name on that. So I don't know if it came from that or it came from me doing that strategy, because I was also trying to get to him through the other people that I was talking to who are actually liking my music. And then I just woke up to a DM from him one day. And he's like, yo, I just checked out your Photoshop mixtape, you're fire. Where you from? And he actually thought I was from LA. And I was like, I'm from South Africa. He's like, yo, that is crazy. Yeah. And he's like, yo, send me your number. I sent him, he's like, send me your best track right now. I want to put it on a mixtape that I'm doing for upcoming artists. It'll help you with exposure. I was like, bet. I sent him my best song at the time. He put the mixtape out. And then from there, that's where I got a call from Atlantic Records. I got a call from Red Bull Records, and I got a call from Def Jam after he put that single out. Yeah. For his.
Which single was that?
Times 50. It was a song called Times 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow! And then where did you go from there? I mean, I can only imagine how you felt at the time. You also mentioned in some of your interviews that it took you 2 years. Is that true?
2 years too?
2 years to marketing yourself, reaching out to DJs, to
that's another thing with me. It's
PR.
like I'm very patient when it comes to my stuff. So it's like I believe that, I only have one shot at this, so I shouldn't mess it up. So even when it comes to my music, I took about 3-4 years working on my stuff before pitching it. So I'd record music every single day, improving, all of that stuff before I pitch it. So I'd get a contact, but I'd probably use it like 6 months down the line. Yeah. Someone would tell me, send me your music. I'd probably send it six months down the line, because I'm such a perfectionist. I'm like, I only have one shot. I need to send where my stuff is at the right caliber. Yeah. So
now, very exciting news. I think, especially for you and the work that you've put in. I mean, you've been signed to an African division of one of the most biggest labels in the world, Def Jam Recordings. How does that feel? And what does that mean for you and your music and the effort that you've put in?
I think that was just like a stamp of approval for me. Yeah. To get in the doors, because I'm always someone who's like always observing, so I've always wanted to get in those doors and learn how everything works. When I had the offers, it's like a lot of people advised me not to take it, like people in the industry. And it's, what's funny? People that knew about me, the people I was talking about, that didn't have anything to say when I was knocking on their doors. But the moment they found out that Def Jam's in for me, they had so much to say. And a lot of people were advising me not to take the deal and stuff like that, because they were like, my brand is still small, so it's like I won't be a priority in there and all of that stuff. But with me, it's like they don't understand that going into Def Jam, I had leverage, because Atlantic Records wanted to sign me, and they don't have a division in Africa. They're in Atlanta. Yeah. But they had told me that. So when I had the meeting with them, they went through like my YouTube and stuff like that, and I had no music videos. I had nothing. Why? Because I'm a perfectionist. I've never ever wanted to shoot like a low budget video. I've always wanted to do something, everything like proper. So I never used to shoot videos, none of that. So when they went through my YouTube and stuff like that, everything was empty. No songs on Spotify, no on Apple, anything. And then they told me, we don't want to sign you, and then you don't have a story. It's like, and then you just boom, and when like people track back and try to look back at your story, they don't find anything. So they gave me a year. They said, we're giving you a year to just, don't be scared. Like, shoot low budget music, do whatever, and then we'll sign you after that year, right? Which I agreed to. I'm like, okay, cool. But in the middle of all that, Def Jam came in, and they're like, we want you now. And then also another factor that played a role with me joining Def Jam is because my favorite rapper is Snoop Dogg, right? Okay. So it's like I saw him announcing that he just got a role at Def Jam. He's like, what thought I just got a role. I think he was overseeing everything artist-wise and just helping Def Jam get back to the level it used to be at. And then when I saw him post that, I was like, that brings me closer to my role model. I was like, I'm definitely joining Def Jam now. And then we spoke with Def Jam, and then I joined them.
Yeah.
And then before I even dropped my first single under them, I was featured on Snoop Dogg's album.
Dog, what was it like? We're talking to Snoop.
Bro.
Did he FaceTime you? What happened, dog?
You guys don't understand, bro. Like, my favorite rapper. Like, he's my favorite rapper, bro. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a thing where you like, you know when you have a vision, a certain vision of your career, and then it's like things because to me it's like I'm looking at my career, I'm like, I still need a hit in SA, I still need, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the blueprint, guys. This is the way I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna do things overseas if I haven't even popped in my own country and all of that stuff. So for me, like, that was still far-fetched for me, like working with Snoop and stuff like that. But when the Game thing happened, it was a shock. It was like a shocker to me, because not only Game reached out to me, Fat Joe reached out to me, Eric Bellinger reached out to me, Tank, the R&B singer, reached out to me. So that just gave me a different perspective. I was like, actually, I can do it without blowing up in my, because there's a constant pattern of these overseas mainstream artists who are hitting me up, and they don't give a damn about my following. They're just like, your music's dope, let's work. And I'm like, that is crazy, because like something I faced in SA was that a lot of these people, like, I'd link up with them, we'd be in studio, or they'd hear about me, referrals and stuff like that, and they'd be like, get your following up, or keep grinding, kid. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a Snoop Dogg doesn't care about that. He's just like, bro, what? Where you from? Let's work. So it was crazy because he's my favorite rapper, like, growing up. So it was far-fetched for me. I was like, working with Snoop, I'll get there one day. But it happened so quick, where Def Jam was just like in a meeting with him, and they were just like, there's this kid who's crazy about you, and his sound is like the West. He's the king of that sound, so he knows. He's like, his sound. He's like, what? An African kid doing West Coast. Let's hear him out. And they played the record for him. Oh, and he went crazy. I just remember like taking because it's like Def Jam didn't even inform me that they had played him the music. I just woke up and I saw like a DM Snoop Dogg, and it's a verified tick. I'm like, and it's not even a message, it's like a video. I'm like, what is going on? And I play the video. It's him in studio. He's like, man, you sound like the African Snoop Dogg. He's like, where you from, bro? Give me your number right now. Let's work. I'm like, what? I literally took like 2 hours to respond. I don't know what to say. I don't want to be too forward. I don't want to be too... I'm like, I played cool, bro. Mm-hmm. I was like, play it cool. And then I gave him my number, and then, yeah, from there, they sent records. They sent like 3 songs to me. They were like, yeah, pick a song. And then I picked No Smart, because it's a like West Coast, LA type song. And then I hopped on that, and then, yeah, we've had a relationship ever since. Wow. So we talk about a lot of stuff. He advises me on a lot of stuff. So now it's like, I'm like, bro, like my dad used to sit down and play this guy's albums for me and give me information. Like this guy, my dad's he's like a real music head. So he likes giving like info. He's like, in 1990, what? This guy did this and not that. This guy produced. He's a creds guy. He knows everything. I'm like, I grew up to my dad introducing me to Snoop. Yeah. Now I got this guy on my phone talking like he's just another guy. I can just like FaceTime. That's crazy to me.
It is.
It's crazy.
Do you think we have it wrong in South Africa?
I don't know.
Because I mean, you mentioned looking for a following. People are looking for this and that.
Yeah, I think like yeah. I can say like they look at the wrong things. Because in America, the culture is like you just gotta be talented. That's all they want from you. And you deserve a seat at the table. With here, I feel like it's more politic driven. It's more like, what do I get? A lot of people don't know, and I always tell my friends this. I'm like, for someone at the caliber of Snoop Dogg, and for someone at the caliber like me, for him to work with me, I'm doing that for free. A lot of people don't know Snoop Dogg paid me for the verse. That's why I just realized that the business in America is just different. He didn't have to do that. I didn't ask for that. I do verses for him for free any day. But he sent me a contract. He's like, I'm paying you for this verse. I'm like, that is crazy. And he paid me for the verse. And he's like, because you just need to respect artists' work. And I was like, but that's why, the culture is different in America. Yeah. That's why people, they making money, real money out of it. Because they don't care who you are. If you bring value to a record, you get paid. But here it's different.
That's true. No, it's very different.
It's very different.
I think it's because everyone is hungry here.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. But also it's like egos. It's too much egos.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm always chilling and I'm like, why do we have egos? Because it's like, we're not even there yet. If you're comfortable with just being famous in South Africa, like, isn't your goal to cross over? Yeah. Like, South Africa is so small. A lot of people don't understand South Africa is so small. So I'm always like, bro, I'm trying to make it in the US. That's where I'm trying to make it. Because I know that's the country. If you make it there, you make it everywhere else in the world. So I'm like, South Africa. You guys get fame in South Africa and then you call it, you done. And then you have a big hit.
Yeah.
The population of South is so small. I'm always like, no, guys, like, let's cross over. Yeah. Let's cross over. So it's a lot of egos involved just based off of making it in South Africa. And I always look at it like it's bigger than that, bro. Yeah. It's bigger than that.
So you recently dropped an album.
An EP.
An EP. Okay, so you recently dropped an EP, if I'm not mistaken, 5 days ago.
5 days ago?
On YouTube says 5 days.
No.
So 5 days ago. Actually, I saw it on YouTube. It's right after your previous album, or mixtape rather, Photoshopped. And this one is called... The Story Begins. Yes. The Story Begins. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
And how was that? Because I saw you, after you dropped Photoshopped, you dropped a lot of singles.
Yeah.
You dropped a lot of singles.
Yeah, I dropped, after Photoshopped, it was the Snoop feature, and then I dropped No Stopping. Yeah. I dropped the video, and then I dropped Coldest Walk in Africa, and then I dropped Passion, and then I dropped a lot of singles. I think I dropped like 5 singles in December, because I was supposed to actually drop a mixtape, and then like my PC crashed and stuff like that. So it's like, and it was already like finished, put together, and my stuff crashed. I lost that stuff. So I was just pissed, and I was just like, you know what? Let me make an EP in 7 days and put it out. So if you listen to Story Begins, it's not even mixed and mastered. I literally recorded it in 7 days. That EP was recorded in 7 days. I recorded it in 7 days and I put it out.
So you dropped it last week?
Not last week, about 2 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So it's been a while. It's been a while since it's out. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Who puts that out? Do you put that out on the label?
Yeah.
No, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had like a proper agreement with them where I just like I can drop it whenever I feel like dropping.
So that's the
Yeah. But the records in which we sit down together and then they drop, then we discuss, and then that's the budget goes behind that and stuff like that. But they've given me freedom to like whenever I feel like dropping, but they don't promise that we're gonna push everything you drop, but drop. But then the important ones we're gonna push. Yeah, so I have the leverage to just drop whenever I feel like drop. So I just drop those under me, and then when it's time to drop with them, we drop as well.
Yeah. So share with us a bit about your latest drop, and then what was your thought process when going through? It was The Story Begins.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Latest...
I'm always just, my mind is, I'm always thinking about the next thing,
Your full body of work, your latest full body of work, let's put it that way. So tell us a little bit about that. What was your thought process? Why those specific songs? And tell us a little bit about that.
I think the title of it is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I was just basically saying, my story is starting, and then in the tracks, I'm just talking about my experiences and what I'm going through currently. So that's how I approach my music. Every time I drop music, it's like what I'm going through at that specific. So that was that. It's nothing deep.
Yeah.
I was just like, a lot of people have been crying out for a lot of music. I promised to drop an EP in December. My files crashed. Let me just make some music because it's easy to me, and then let me put it out. So it's not like a deep story. It's just a thing of like, hold this while I work on the masterpiece. Because
because you did mention a lot in this specific one how just the way that you feel in terms of people not believing in your music and this and that and the things that you achieved and are achieving now. So is that something that you would carry? Is that a story that you will carry on with, or are we gonna get introduced to something new in this new?
Definitely something new, because the project I'm working on now. I'm working with a lot of people in the States, so it's like, even when you listen to The Story Begins, I talk about how, a lot of people don't believe in me, and I feel like I'm gatekept in SA and all of that stuff, So it's like, it has always been weird to me as like, why are people in LA accepting me more than people at home? And that frustrates me, because you want that love from home before you go to LA, So it's like, I'm getting people telling me they're trying to fly me to LA. People are planning to bring me out there. And I'm like, but nobody even knows where I am at home, But another thing is, like, we even had the discussion at the label, is that a lot of people don't understand my sound, and I need to understand that I'm probably the first who's doing it. So it's probably going to take a while to connect, because a lot of people, don't understand it.
Funny, speaking about that, you're from EMLAZI, né?
Yeah.
And you said,
yeah.
With you developing your sound, have you considered to collaborate with Abantu from Light Dubai, DKM, whether it's Otira, Big Nice type of sound? Are you playing in that territory with what you are playing around with and developing your sound, or are you just like, nah, I'm doing the West Coast sound?
But also it's like, you need to understand, it's like, with me, the West Coast sound, the way I do it is different from the way they do it in LA, which is why SNOOP co-signs it, which is why Game co-signs it. Because to him, it's like, think of West Coast artists, right? YG, SNOOP, all of the guys that come from the West Coast. The West Coast sound is influenced by gangbanging and violence. That's the culture. It's Crips, Bloods, gangbang. That's what they rap about. It's rare that you find. In fact, I've never heard a West Coast artist who doesn't speak about those things. So with me, it's like, when SNOOP heard it, he was like, I've never heard West Coast being done like this. use storytelling under this, and it's different. It's not about guns. It's not about violence. So to them, it's fresh because the content is different.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like in terms of working with the Durban people, I haven't thought of it, but because I've gotten the cosign, them telling me that I bring a different flavor, I don't do it like them. And also it's like my reference points when I speak about Durban, I don't talk about LA palm trees, I talk about Durban palm trees. You know what I'm saying? So to them it's new. They want to know, like, where's Durban? And they Google, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's sort of like when I bridge, that's what I'm bringing. My story and where I come from, but under West Coast production. And also it's like, I'm not going to rap about violence and all that because I didn't grow up like that. I just do it under West Coast style beats. Yeah, so it's new to them as well. They've never heard it being done like that. But in terms of working with the Durban people on it, I've never thought about it. But I don't think it would be a bad idea because you don't know what could come out of it.
Sonically.
Yeah.
That's true. And I've realized something on your YouTube channel under some of your songs, that you turned off your comments. Is that by choice or what was happening there?
Purposely.
Why?
Because a lot of people, like, I'm not trying to read, like, the negative stuff. I'm not trying to read the negative stuff. It's like people are always, people in SA, it's like, they always, I don't know, sometimes I just don't understand. It's like, bro, like, do you guys understand that I'm working with artists, the biggest artists in the country are not working with, that they trying to work with these people. I'm working with them already. But you guys are bashing, but I'm flying the flag, bro. But you're bashing me. So it's a lot of people in the comments, why are you doing this sound? Why you know what I'm saying? Why are you sounding like this? Rapping your home language? All of those things. So I'm not trying to read all of that. I'm just, nah. I'm just going to turn these comments off. So it's always been like that thing, and I never ever understand it. I'm like, bro, you guys, I'm literally doing something that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, even when, like, a lot of people don't know, like even me and Snoop are like having a convo where he wants to bring Death Row Africa to Africa. But that convo wouldn't have happened if you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you guys are bashing me, bro. But Snoop might sign you in the next 2-3 years, bro, because he's planning to bring Death Row to Africa. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Also, sorry, Snoop, if I'm announcing without you, But those are the things we speak about. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why you bash me, bro, when I'm flying the flag? But people always have something to say. So I just rather switch it off and don't. Because even like I had an issue with the Coldest Walk in Africa beat that I dropped. Flame dropped a record with the same beat. I think it's called Prayers Up or whatever. And it was a big issue with the labels and stuff like that. And a lot of people were in my comments saying, you stole Flame's beats. I'm like, guys, go on my Instagram. I posted that song in 2020. Flame dropped it in 2023. But also it's like a lot of people don't understand that when you get a beat off of YouTube and you clear it, that, things like that, yeah. But I'm like, so people are now hitting me up on my DMs like, you stealing Flame sound. I'm like, bro, I started doing West Coast music in 2017, bro. Yeah. There's records out there, So I was just like, this negativity, let me just turn off my comments.
Yeah. So we're going to go into a little game, right? So I selected 3 tracks that I really enjoyed. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to start off a song, and then you're going to finish it off. You're going to let me know whether it was a mixtape, a single, an album, what's the name of the track, as well as what was your thought process when you were writing that specific track. Okay.
Let's do it.
So the first one is, you know that I want it.
Why are you saying it like that?
I've never said that.
Okay, get your shit off.
I've never said that.
I swear you see this. No, can I please? Okay, so the song goes, I'm not going to say it the way that you said it, okay? So you know that I want it. They say that I ain't gifted. I say that I'm beyond it. I'm more than just an artist. I penetrate the market.
You know, it's difficult when you read it out to me.
Okay.
But now it's
Let me
like I remember those lyrics.
Okay. Let me try add a little rap to it. Okay? You know that I want it. They say that I ain't gifted. I say that I'm beyond it. I'm more than just an artist. I penetrate the market. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's your track called Overdue.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Overdue. It's from your mixtape. Yes, it's from your mixtape Photoshop. So what was your thought process when you wrote Overdue? The market.
The market. The market.
Could have said I'm in the market.
Yeah.
Overdue. I think that song was just about how I feel my time is overdue. Because I've been around like in the scene for so long, but it's like no credit, no nothing. After knocking on so many doors, year after year, I was just like, yo, I'm here, bro. It's overdue. I should be there.
Okay. Okay. So here's your second one. Hopefully you get this one. Okay. It is, I'm in the hood. I'm the king. Call me Phonics Alexander. Yeah.
Alexander?
Xavier's. Okay, I'm in the, okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm in the hood. Call me Phonics Xavier. Yeah. That you know what it is. I just keep it cool and handle my biz. See, you know what it is. I just keep it cool and handle my biz. So that was on the section. It's a single actually. So what was your thought process when writing that specific song?
Section is where I'm from, the hood.
Okay.
So yeah, I was just talking about referencing the hood and talking about where I'm from.
For those who don't know where you're from, because we haven't discussed it, where are you from?
EMLAZI.
EMLAZI. Okay. Shout out
You
EMLAZI.
Yeah.
Got you. And then last but not least, it's what you know about passion. What you know about dancing. What you know about rapping.
That's passion.
That's passion.
Yeah. And I remember that one because it's recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
December.
So tell us a little bit about your thought process with that
I was
check.
just letting them know. I just felt like venting. And
That's
I was like,
it.
yo, what do you guys know about a cat with passion?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't recognize a guy with passion, he's going to find another way to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that song, I just felt like venting. I was like, let me let them know that, yo. Yeah.
No, that's actually one of my favorite tracks.
And
I like it how
that one too.
Yeah. I like how easygoing it is, but you also definitely got your message across. What do you know about passion? So tell us a little bit more about maybe anything else that you would like us to know about you, any recent music, any recent things that are going on right now in your career.
I've just been collaborating, working with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've also been improving my production side because I want to get into that as well. But yeah, I've just been working with a lot of people because I've been working like alone for like the longest of times.
Yeah.
So I have like a lot of songs, over 300 songs by myself. Yeah, so I've got to a point where I'm like, I need to collaborate with more people. Yeah. So I've been working on music with her. I did a beautiful record with AYANDA, GIYA. It was like, that's my favorite song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not out yet. But like, she was like probably the first person who showed me love in Joburg. I was just like, you dope, let's get into studio. And she's mad talented. Like, you know when you watch someone from like TV and watch them from before you meet them, you have like the certain, she's like mad talented. She's like, and it's like with me, it's like the record we did, I know she does a lot of like soulful stuff and like, because she's influenced by Jill Scott. And I told her in studio, I was like, today I'm putting you on a West Coast record. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah. You want to sing on a West Coast record? Are you coming into my world? She's like, oh, I've never done that. I'm like,
yeah.
We're doing that. But she's so talented. She picks up like this. And she doesn't even write. She just goes on there and I'm like, this one's different, this one. But she's mad talented. I did a record with her, amazing record. I did a song with Michael Jones as well. That's also a nice record. Who else did I work with? And then a bunch of people in LA.
Okay,
Yeah, and
okay.
then I worked with a lot of people in LA, the producers, and some artists.
Yeah, can you let us know who you worked with, or is it something that we have to find out?
I think I can say DJ Battlecat because he produced No Smart the song, the Snoop Dogg song that I was on.
Yeah.
And then it's like he followed me ever since that. He also was one of the people that DM'd me and told me that, yo, we see you out in LA, keep doing your thing. And for me, like, that was big because DJ Battlecat like produced for Tupac, produced for all these. He's like this West Coast sound is started by them. The sound, like production wise, Dr. Dre, him, DJ Quick. So these are all people that I look up to. So he is one of the people that also hit me up and was like, yo, we see what you're doing out in Africa. Keep doing your thing. So it's like, yo, I'm getting an approval from someone, Tupac's producer.
Imagine.
So for me, it's like, that's a stamp of approval for me.
Definitely.
So nobody in the country now can tell me, stop doing this sound. It just comes in this ear and it goes out the other. Because like the people, because like people in South Africa always tell you, they're not trying to hear this in America. You sound like them or stuff like that. But it's like, no, I don't sound like them. I'm just communicating in English.
That's true.
That's all I'm doing.
That's true.
So you can't say, rap in Zulu. They won't understand what I'm saying. And then my music won't reach a global stage because no one can hear what I'm saying other than South Africans. So I'm just rapping in English, bro. The accent is because hip-hop is them anyways. So it's like you adapt that if you're part of the culture. And I'm just communicating in English. So South Africans tell you that, you need to sound different because in America, they're not trying to hear that. In America, they're not saying that. They're just like, you're dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, the biggest artists in America aren't from America. Rihanna's not from there. Nicki Minaj is not from there. Drake's not from there. These are all people that came from their countries and moved to America, but they're the biggest there. But no one ever says, Nicki Minaj doesn't sound like she's from Barbados. Or Rihanna doesn't, wherever they're from. Drake doesn't sound Canadian. They don't say Drake is trying to sound American. But when it's a South African person, ish.
You know what
I'm saying? So I never listened to that. So to me, it's like they approved it. So I'm gonna keep doing it the way I was doing it. Because if it was a problem, they would have said it. Because I've seen videos of Snoop Dogg online where he bashes people like the Migos, people we respect. Like, he's like, I don't like this new sound. These people are doing. He bashes people like the Migos, and then he comes on his phone and he posts and he says, I sound like the African Snoop Dogg. He's never in his life co-signed someone as the next Snoop Dogg. He did that with me. I was the first. I'm like, bro, to someone who's so critical when it comes to music, he co-signed my sound and said I sound like him. That's sort of like passing the torch. So for me, that's enough. I don't need anybody else telling me, my favorite rapper's telling me I'm doing a great job and I should keep at it. Now, why should I change now?
That's true. How does that make you feel about South African heavyweights, especially with the appreciation that you're getting from international artists who have made...
I think this just proved to me that no one knows the formula. No one, because people always think they know the formula. You got to go through us before you do that. Or you got to do this. Pay your rent. I've heard people tell me all these things. You got to pay your dues. Pay your rent. Do that. I'm like, why do I need to do that, bro? You know what I'm saying? So it's like politics and that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? So they want you to... And they make you pick sides. You get to Joba. They're like, who you rolling with? You're like, it's not even that. They just make music. Bro. Like, who you chilling with? I'm like, they trying to put you on sides and stuff like that. It's like, let's just make music, bro. So that just proved to me that there's no formula to this. Because a lot of people tell you, no, you can't reach those people if you haven't done that and that and that and that. And it just proved to me because I've reached over 5 of big artists in in the US. Yeah. So it's like, that just proves to me, Guti, there is no set formula on how to blow up or how to make it. Just do your thing. If it catches on, it'll catch on wherever it catches on, the way it catches on. Yeah.
And what can we expect
what's
from?
coming up in the next few years? What are you looking for that you can share?
Yeah, more music, of course. I'm still trying to convince Snoop to do a collab project with me. Yeah, that's gonna take a lot of convincing, but I'm on him. So that's my goal. That's like my biggest goal, to sort of have him introduce me to the world. And I think ain't no better way to do it through a collab EP or something like that, where we come together as African producers, and then him, Battle Cat, and all the guys in LA come together, and then we fuse the sound. So I've always like had an idea of like making West Coast music, but with African elements and sounds on it. It's never been done before. So in order to do that, you need African producers who understand Africa and the sound. And then you need the LA producers, because they're the kings of the West Coast. So they get the melody, they get everything right, and then you use the textures of Africa and the sounds of Africa, and then fuse the two. I want to like create a sound where, So I think it would be dope to do it with Snoop, to put the two together, African producers that do West Coast, and then the LA producers, then me and him on the records doing it.
So what do you think about the South African hip hop industry? I'm just kidding.
In terms of, depends what we talking.
He's very good.
No, in terms of where it is, in terms of maybe opportunities, just anything that you have to say about hip hop in South Africa at this current climate.
Cotton Fest,
We're coming to Cotton Fest.
I think it's taken a few hits, because of obviously Amapiano, which has taken over worldwide. But I've always thought, South Africans in terms of hip hop, we're one of the best in the world. I think we've just always found it difficult to like find a way to bridge the gap, and that's like why Def Jam opened a stable in Africa, and all these labels are opening stables in Africa, because they're trying to create that bridge where African artists can then go work with the people in LA and then come together, and then we open a platform for the artists in the States to come in Africa, and then they open the doors for us. But hip hop, I'd say, it took a few punches, but I think we got a lot of talented cats. But what I noticed, like meeting a lot of these industry people, is like a lot of them lack information. Yeah, so I don't think a lot of us have information, because like whenever I tell people my story, they're like shocked, and I'm like, but I'm expecting you to know that. You like one of the biggest artists in South Africa. I was expecting you to know something like this, and he's just like, no, you know what I'm saying? And then people speak to you, and they're like, yo, they're not trying to book us overseas, but I'm like, no one's booked overseas. They just got agencies from overseas that are getting them these shows. There's booking agents. If you go Google, there's a CAAWME, all these agencies overseas, and UTA. And if you go on the website, you find all these people. Maporisa's under that agency. They represent them in LA. All of these people. So it's like, not that they're in demand overseas. Yeah. It's just agents looking for opportunities overseas for them. So I speak to a lot of these people. Like, I sit down with these industry people when I get to meet them, and they like one of the biggest artists in the country, but they don't have that information. They're like, yo, I need to go out in LA, but they're not booked. I'm like, bro, I just spoke to an agent at CAA. They willing to sign me and bring me out there, but they just said, work on your numbers and get them to this point, and then we'll be able to do that. You got that already. You got the the numbers they telling me to reach, you got that already. But you've never left the country. That means you lack the information. So I realized that in hip-hop, a lot of the information is gatekept. And for me, it's like, why? Because a lot of these people who are doing it never go on interviews and say, I got a booking agent in LA and anybody can get signed to them. Just look for the the agents. It's easy to get them. It took me 1 day to get about 50 phone numbers and emails. They on the websites. And you reach out to these agents and speak to them. They just say, send the music, let's hear it out. That's literally it. But a lot of people don't know this information. They have this perception that when people are touring overseas, he's popping overseas. Nobody knows this guy in Portugal, bro. Mm-hmm. But his agents are working and they're trying to get him opportunities in Portugal or wherever it is he's going. So information, we should teach more and not gatekeep, because there's enough like for everybody to eat. So people should spread information, but it's up to the people in the industry, the heads of the industry, to spread that information. But a lot of them gatekeep it.
And they do. I think it's also because of they don't want money going out. They want money circulating with.
But there's so much money though. There is so much money. You know, I remember I'd always sit at home and watch the MTV top MCs list, right? That they always do here in SA. Yeah. And I'd always say, besides the 10 that's in this list, who else is in the industry? Nobody else is there besides the 10 that's on the list. You know what I'm saying? You can't name a lot of mainstream rappers, and but you go to the States, there's too many.
That's true.
But I'm always like, but besides this list, who else is there?
That's true.
There's nobody there.
That is fair.
So they gatekeep a lot and they don't allow new artists to come in and do their thing. So I picked that up. It's like a lot of people gatekeep a lot of things, and I just never understood why, because there's so much money.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about Cotton Fest? I think it's a music festival that opens up to many up and coming talent.
Yeah.
How do you feel about us having something like that, and especially it coming to Durban for the first time this year?
Yeah, I think it's dope. It's dope because I've attended a few in Joburg, and they are just crazy. Like the culture, it's like 3 stages, and like upcoming artists get to showcase their talent. The crowd does not care who you are. They're just embracing good music. So I think Durban needed something like that, because it's like the culture in Joburg compared to like Durban is very different. In Joburg, every week something's happening. So when I'm out, I'm meeting people every week. Here it's sort of like just the nightlife, and on specific dates as well, But in Joburg, it's like a whole movement. It's like, yo, every week something is happening somewhere, So I think we need more of things like that in Durban. So I'm happy Cotton Fest is, coming out here to do. But I just want to see like more, upcoming artists and more talent, because it sort of feels like you go into the same event.
That's true. Yeah, I was about to
with just different titles. Yeah. Because the lineup is the same.
About to ask you about the lineup.
So for me, I think the most exciting thing is just being able to discover new people, see new people, new faces. Just be excited about new artists. That's what I want to see. Yeah. And they do a lot of that in Johannesburg. They do a lot of that in Johannesburg.
Would you ever want to be a part of a Cotton Fest?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. It's a dope ass show. Yeah. But also it's like what I touched on earlier. It's like if they don't call me for it, I'm not mad, because they don't owe me that. I just need to work harder. That's it. Because even in the one in Johannesburg, DJ Meech was booked for it, and he was like, yo, bro, you need to come out on my set and rock. I was like, all right, dog, bet. So shout out to him for that. But I never get mad at the fact that they didn't call me. It just gives me like motivation, like, okay, cool. I need to work harder, because I know they don't owe me that. Yeah. Why would I feel entitled to that?
That's true.
How was performing at the Iverson's Hall for you?
Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy because we had like a big debate at the label where they were like, hey, we don't think this West Coast sound of yours is going to speak to the 2Ks and the young ones. I'm like, just give me the stage, bro. They're like, we're not sure. I'm like, give me the stage. Like, hey, okay, cool. I said, sharp. Yeah. I went on Iverson, I rocked that thing. I rocked that thing. It was crazy. I don't know if you've seen the
I
videos,
saw the videos. It was
but I
dope.
rocked it. It was crazy. And people were like, who the hell is this guy? And the same people from the label who are saying, we don't think it's going to... They're taking videos. They're sending to the CEO. Look at this man's sound. It's moving. I'm like, I've been telling you guys about the sound, and you guys are not hearing me. Just, sometimes it's... Even if you at the label and stuff, sometimes it's okay to be a student because you don't know everything. So sometimes you need to be more open to listening and taking in suggestions, because the sound I'm doing, you're obviously going to say it's going to fail if you don't understand it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people in the country don't understand it in general, right? I do, because I know where it stems from. I know the history behind it, all of that. It's never been done in the continent. So of course you're not gonna back it. But sometimes you just need to trust it. Yeah. So yeah.
And do you understand why most people don't understand that sound? I think they're used to...
I do.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good, absolutely proud of the things that you've done. And your story is absolutely unique. I mean, I've never heard someone reaching out the way that you did. So you did say that there isn't a formula to this. Do what you can, use the resources that you have. Who would have thought LinkedIn... would have been something that would have taken you to where you are right now. Yeah. So that's absolutely amazing. Any last words?
What you got coming, bro? Look at us, man. What you got coming?
Nah, man, just thank you for having me out here, man.
Yeah.
Durban needs more platforms like these where, people try push the culture and, because it's like, just like how I speak about Durban in photos. Like, I'm so in love with Durban, but it's like there's no resources to back that love. Because you go to Joburg, it's like everyone's like podcasting, everyone, like the culture's there, you feel it. So it's like when I'm home, it's like I don't want to feel that in a different city. I don't want to feel love in a different city. I'm doing interviews in Joburg, but I'm like, I don't want to feel love. I want to feel love at home. Because when I speak to you, EMLAZI was when. Yeah. So you're like, this is the boy from EMLAZI. But he's working with Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to, people in Durban must look at my story and be like, damn, if this bro can do it, I can do it too. But Durban doesn't have platforms like that. So you get home and you're just chilling with the family. You can't podcast because you're like, hey, which interviews can I handle? There's nothing, so... I appreciate people like you guys that are, Durban needs this and so much more. Like, we need to push the Durban culture forward because we are so talented. Like, the 90% of the industry in Joburg is people from Durban. The people working in these labels, they're like, are you from Durban? I'm also from... Everyone's from Durban. But we always move to Joburg to try and make it happen. So Durban needs to come together and, allow more platforms like these to happen, and we support each other. Yeah.
No, that's true. That's very true. I mean, I think we're also starting to realize that, no, we're losing a lot of absolutely amazing talent. Yeah. And so that's starting to, trying to get it back. I mean, look, Cotton Fest is coming here because now they're trying to... introduce that back to AMA 2000, and we need that. We need someone that's going to say that, I was inspired by Phonics, the Cool, because I saw him on stage this one time here in one of the clubs here, so we need a story like that. So thank you so much. So for those who are looking for you, where can they catch you?
On social media, I'm Phonics the Cool across all platforms.
Yeah, Phonics.
So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, just Phonics the Cool, at Phonics the Cool.
So Instagram, TikTok, all platforms, it's Phonics the Cool. Please also don't forget, once again, to like, comment, and subscribe. It's the CatchUpdbn with your host, MX South Africa. Yes, MX?
Hey, I'm behind the camera.
With your Mix South Africa and your co-host, Andile Dube. It was an absolutely amazing interview. Do check him out. He's an absolutely amazing talent. He's coming out with an absolutely different sound, and it's also unique to him. So do support. We want those comment sections to turn back on, and we want to see the love. Thank you.
Thank you.